Okay, this doesn't seem to work very well. I don't have very much light here, but we'll see. We're going to be moving around today. We are going on a tour of my office to use the power of the directions to create sacred space. Don't know why it is so dark on me. I have a big shadow being cast someplace. Oh, it's not helping. So this is the way we're going to do it today. I have to use my phone because we're going to take that walk around. So how to use the power of directions to create sacred space. And I wanted to address, why should you do this? You know, the benefits of this shamanic wisdom teachings is that helps you to set a better intention. You'll have better focus, better connection to nature and spirit, to your higher self. Let's face it, we are all seeking, now more than ever. Your journey is about waking up and remembering your true spirit personality. You know, what a paradox. We are always in the process of becoming that which we already are. We've just forgotten ourselves. We just get armored with all kinds of things and day-to-day challenges. More than anything, what the shamanic wisdom teachings gave me is they gave me permission to just be myself. Yes, I've been told that I'm too much and that I take up too much space. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of women who've been told that. We've been told that for centuries. And now is the time, and I'm seeing it all around me, where women are stepping into their leadership, stepping into their power to make the world a better place. Corporate women, entrepreneurs, women from all walks of life are embracing the woo and applying it to their business and their business life because it's working. Dr. David Hamilton, that I quote in my book, a lovely man, he just published a new book called Why Woo Woo Works. I'm just going to read a little bit of what he says. He says the ideas behind some of these holistic therapies, and I include the shamanic in that, have been around for millennia. Now we have scientific evidence demonstrating how they can contribute to physical, emotional, and energetic healing too. It's time to embrace the truth that woo-woo really does work. And he now calls it true woo. I love that. So every morning before my meditation, and we're going to talk about meditation later on at another time, every morning, I call in the power of the directions to create sacred space in my office. Now, sacred space can be created. I use smudge, and I'll show you that. Sacred space can be created in other ways. Like you may belong to a group where they read a script or an invocation or a mantra or a creed at the beginning of a meeting. It sets the intention of how we want this time to be and feel. It sets the energy. So do you want your next meeting to be successful, smooth, and cooperative? And that's okay, even if that next meeting is with someone that's a relationship you're building with. You want to use the power of the 4 directions. Well, there's more than 4, but the power of the directions to create sacred space. And try that and let me know how you feel about it. And this is a piece that I work with my clients when they're going to a meeting, where to sit in the meeting, what posture to have, what to wear, what intent do they set for success before they even walk in. What can they do before, during, and after the meeting? So when I host women's retreats and wisdom circles, I meet my clients face to face. I use smudge to call in the power of the direction to create sacred space, and they love it. So for me, there's a difference between sacred space or a place that is sacred. A place that is sacred could be a church, a burial ground, a mosque, something like that. But that's different than creating sacred space. Sacred space is that chalice. It's an energy dome, a circle of power to open our hearts and connect our minds and our spirit with divine energy, the guides, the angels, the goddess, whoever or whatever you align with. So this is how I ask for guidance and support for my day-to-day work that in what I do. Even without smudge, you can use the power of the directions to create sacred space until you get some. I use smudge because I love the smell of it. And, I broke down what's all in the smudge the other day, and I've had that. I love that cleansing energy that it gives me. And it's a way to differentiate the energy before I create sacred space and after, and then that smell just remains. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to take my camera off of the stand and I'm going to walk you around my office. I hope it's not too shaky, and if it is, I apologize in advance. Okay, so we'll go over here and we're going to get the smudge. Turn this around so you can see this is my computer. We're going to walk you all around. I've never shared my space with anybody. So let's just hold on here a second. So I keep my smudge in this altar, which you'll see more in a minute. I just want to show you how I do every step of it. I have it here in my shell. I have my lighter. Look, I have my feather in a nice feather holder. I normally don't have my phone with me to do this, so this is going to be a little tricky. And I take the feather, let me turn it around again. I take the feather, I have the smudge in my hand, and I just work up from my feet all the way up. And I always face the east. That's the portal, that's the gateway to the circle. So I always face the east. I start from my feet, I come up through all of the chakras, and when I get to the top, I flick the feather. It releases any negative energy I might have. And then, turn this around, since I am facing east, I call in the powers of the direction. And for me, the color is yellow. I call in the powers of the east for illumination and enlightenment to be here now. And as I do that, I flick my feather up into the air. Now that's a painting my friend gave me. It always reminds me to send her good vibes because she's traveling a lot. And then this is not a cardinal direction, but this is what I look at all day. My bow, my arrows pointing up for good energy, and I invoke the goddess. I ask that the goddess in me step fully into her power today, that I be of service in love and beauty. Then the next direction is the south, and the color is red. That's why I have a beautiful red owl hanging in this direction. I call in the powers of the south for trust and innocence to be here now. And I always add, and you can add anything to this, it's your ceremony. And I add a prayer for my sisters. I have pictures of them on my altar. And I always add a prayer for their health, for us to soon be dancing together. The power of the south, call in trust and innocence as we dance like children when we're together. And yes, I have a lot of drums. I love my drums. This is my drumming circle. And then I call in, a big light, I call in the powers of the west for intuition and introspection. And the color is green. You'll notice I have a green picture there, a green mat on a snowy owl. The snowy owl is my power totem. So you'll see a bit more snowy in here. And then I call in the powers of the north for logic, knowledge, and wisdom. and the ancestors who love me. There's my big snowy. I always say I ride on the wings of the snowy. I've never shared this with anybody. It's really pretty sacred. So I call in the powers of the north for logic, knowledge, and wisdom to be with me now. I always go in a clockwise direction. Yeah, there's another owl up there. And then I call in the as above. There we go. I call in the as above and I point my feather to the heavens. I call in the as above and I kneel on one knee. I call on the as above and all that is blue to marry with the so below, and all that is green and be as one. I ask that the work that I do today, and I run the feather over my desk here, like that. I ask that the work that I do today be minimum effort and maximum success. Now, we're going to move back to my desk. And then I put out the smudge if it's still lit, and I put it away. And I put my feather away. And what I do when the smudge, bear with me here. What I do with the smudge when it's finished, when it's just down to ashes in the bowl, I say thanks. I say a prayer. I'm blowing ashes everywhere. And I bring it out to a tree in front of the house. And it's a tree that I clean out in the spring so that there's earth. And I put the ashes there and I say thank you for the month I've had. I usually try to change it on full moon. By then, I know now how much to put in that will last me for that period of time. That's it. That's what I have for you today. And I just want to let you in on one more little secret. They're installing my cabinet counters today, like right now as we speak. And before I got on, there was such a racket. The house was vibrating because they're sawing and drilling and hammering. And I sent an intent to please just shush, just be quiet while I'm on the call. And look what happened. You didn't hear a sound of that. If you have any questions, comments, do let me know. Remember, smudging has happened all over the world for millennia, and the woo-woo works. If you need more guidance on how to apply this to your life, just ask me some questions. It has changed my world dramatically to know all these ancient wisdom's teachings. It's like the ancient teachings have woken up a piece inside of me that makes me feel like I really belong here and that I have a place to be and a person to be. I love you. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow we're talking about dressing for blessing. See you then. Oh, thanks for the love.